is Tairan, and this is my presentation on nutrition and injury prevention for student athletes. So we're going to dive into two essential pillars, nutrition and how to properly prevent or reduce the risk of injury. This doesn't matter if you're like a really serious athlete, training casually, or you're a casual potato, and you want to exercise. These tips will help you in the future. They will prevent common mistakes that people make, and they help you stay on the field, court, or pool for a longer time. So, first, a little bit about me. I am a student athlete at Newark Library. If you're curious, I play badminton and water polo. I also run cross country. I'm planning to study kinesiology in college. This is the study of the movement of the body. And I'm also CPR and first aid certified, and I want to explore the science behind athletic performance. The goal of today, after this slideshow, is I want to educate you guys on how to stay healthy, strong, and injury-free. About the title, it is a bit misleading because you can't 100% prevent an injury. You can only reduce the risk of it. So you might be wondering why I named it injury prevention, because it sounds better, and risk reduction is too long. So why does it matter? This matters because athletic performance isn't about what you do on the court or what you're doing when you're competing. It's also what you do outside of those hours. It's how you feel your body and how you do what you do to protect your body so you can avoid injury. First, good nutrition gives you sustained energy. It supports muscle repair and it reduces your recovery time if you get injured. Injury prevention helps you avoid missing practices or games, and this can extend your athletic career. So think of these not as extra steps, but more or less as really important tools for your athletic toolbox. So first off, let's start with your daily nutrition. These are the 4 categories of the nutrients that your body needs. First, let's start with carbohydrates or carbs. This is your body's main fuel source. This is especially important before or during practices or games. Think fruits, pasta, anything whole grain. Next, you got protein. This helps your muscles repair after you get injured or after a really difficult practice. Fats, the healthy ones, this is for your long-term energy and for your hormone balance. So things like avocado, olive oil, or nuts are great sources. Finally, probably the most important, hydration. Hydration, this supports your body. Also remember to stay hydrated the whole day, not just when you're practicing on your games. And electrolytes are also pretty important. They support nerve function and muscle response. So if you're dehydrated or underfed, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, both physically and mentally. Also, another factor in nutrition is if you need to know what to eat and when to eat it. So the rule of thumb is before practicing your games, eat about 1 to 3 hours beforehand, so your body can digest some of it for the practice of your game. And also during your game or practice, drink lots of water. Bring sports drinks if your practice is over 60 minutes or an hour, or replenishes electrolytes that your body needs. And afterward, aim to eat something 30 minutes afterward, because this is when your body is most primed to absorb nutrients. Something like a smoothie or chocolate milk is good because it has the carbs and some like calcium and protein that your body needs. And something to be careful about is supplements, because especially for teenagers, supplements can be dangerous if you don't know what to buy. So first off, protein powder. Protein powder can be used if your diet doesn't have as much protein as you would like. And creatine, not super recommended if your body if your sport isn't super high impact or something, because creatine supports strength and muscle growth, and sometimes your sport doesn't need that. Like the sport I'm playing, badminton, you don't necessarily need a lot of muscle to play that game. You need a lot of hand-eye coordination and stuff. Pre-workouts and fat burners. Please consult coach, nutritionist, or a doctor before you buy these, especially if they're from unknown brands. Okay. And no supplement will make up for poor sleep or eating. Don't think sleep and eating are the most important things. So, now we're done with nutrition, we're going to go over some common injuries that are present in student athletes. So first, sprains. Sprains is stretching or tearing a ligament, which is the tissue that connects the joint to the muscle. Strains, not to be confused with sprains, it's a pulled or torn muscle, like a hamstring strain. Tendinitis, inflammation in tendons, not tear or rip. This is from overuse. Swimmers can feel it in their shoulders a lot. Stress fractures, these are small cracks forming in your bones from repetitive impact. And concussions, this can be caused by a blow to the head or blow to your body that causes your brain to rattle around your skull. These can happen to anyone, so don't feel like you don't have any support if you have these injuries. So sprains, these are most common in your ankles, knees, and wrists, because these are probably your most used joints. So this can be caused by some twist or fall, or an impact that forces the joint beyond its normal range of motion. So again, in badminton, when you jump and you land awkwardly on your ankle, very easily you can roll your ankle, and then this causes sprain. So to prevent or reduce the risk of this injury, strengthen the supporting muscles and use proper technique and warm up before your activity. Okay. Strains. So this is common in your hamstring, your lower back, and shoulder. A good example of this happening is if you're in the gym and you're doing deadlifts. Make sure to gradually increase your weights and not just jump from, for example, 100 pounds to 150. The sudden increase in the weight can cause your body to overload, and you're not used to it yet. So, yeah. So stress fractures. This happens in high-impact sports. You're higher at risk if you're doing sports like cross-country or running, because you're repeatedly stopping your foot like this. So it's really common to happen in runners and shins. It can also happen in your foot and hip. Shin splints is a form of an early stress fracture in your shins. Many runners have that injury. To prevent this, you can gradually increase your training load, so don't suddenly jump from one mile in your training to about 4 miles. That's a really easy way to get injured. And sometimes it can be caused because you're not eating enough calcium, so your bones are weak, they don't have enough nutrients to support them. And vitamin D, it helps you absorb the nutrients that your body takes in. Concussions. This is more common in high activity sports like football and water polo. I have gotten a mild concussion before because I was being dumb and I dived into the pool and my head hit the ground. Don't do that. Especially when the pool is 4 feet. And also, this is because your brain moves rapidly back and forth in your skull. This can have some impacts on your brain function, like blurred vision, slurred speech. So to prevent this, wear the proper headgear and don't be stupid. Follow safety rules and report your symptoms early to doctors or professionals. And tendinitis. I've gotten this 3 times in 3 different sports. Wait, no, 2 different sports, sorry. Tennis and badminton. So this happens due to overuse, and in badminton, it's very easy to get it in your elbows because you're rotating them a lot. This is linked to poor technique, again, sudden increase in activity, or just muscle imbalances. To prevent this, cross-train. Don't keep using the same muscles over and over again. Make sure to work out your other parts of the body too. Improve your technique and stretch regularly and allow time for recovery if you can get injured. Alright, so the keys to injury prevention. Remember to warm up and cool down. This is non-negotiable. Do this no matter how tired or how lazy you feel, because this not really stresses out your muscle, it repairs your muscles and your body for the workout ahead. Cross-training, like I mentioned before, it reduces overuse of the same muscles, which also reduces the risk of injury. And rest and recover if you do get injured, and even if you don't, once a week is recommended. And strength and mobility training. Okay. We're going to watch a part of this video on stretching does not reduce injury. So before we start, I just want to give an overview. Some people do not know the difference between dynamic stretching and static stretching. So static stretching increases your flexibility, while dynamic stretching warms up your body. So,
what's up, guys? We're back with another educational video, and this week we're talking about stretching, injuries, injury prevention. But first, max out subscribe to the channel, leave it free. But you can reduce your risk of an injury. However, if you train hard enough, long enough, the likelihood is you will get injured at some point. That is how this works. So I'm going to start with the concept of risk reduction versus prevention. If you don't want to get injured, don't get out of bed. But then you're going to get the wrong spot and you're going to get injured. So you might as well get injured for something you need to do on the wall. Let's talk about the injuries I've got. 2 herniated discs in my lumbar spine, 2 bulge discs in my lumbar spine. 2 herniated discs in my cervical spine. A fully torn left pec that required surgery in 2008, a partially torn left pec, partially torn left adductor, partial muscle tears in both of my hips. And yet, a few weeks ago, I squatted over 600 pounds and deadlifted over 700 pounds. How is this possible? Any one of those things, people would say, well, that's a career-ending injury. Well, we know that the human body is actually quite resilient, and I have learned so much about injuries and pain. One of the things I learned is there is a lot of dogma when it comes to injury risk reduction. And most of the stuff that you guys think reduces your risk of injury doesn't. And some of you aren't going to like those videos. The first thing that is dogma, that based on available evidence, does not reduce your risk of injury, stretching. Whenever you get injured, the first thing people will say, get some stretches to do. When you stretch, did you stretch between your legs? So first off, static stretching can actually reduce muscle performance, but in the systematic reviews and the randomized controlled trials, it is quite clear static stretching does not reduce the risk of injury. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of papers on this. It doesn't matter how much you guys want